Oh, perfect. A mob spawner. This will be just the thing. Conjuring essence. Perfect. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Conjuring by Glizko, Poise 1X Live, Noam, for Forge and Fabric, Minecraft version 1.16 onward, including support already for Minecraft 1.17. Conjuring is a very well thought out mod that adds spawner mechanics, as well as new tools to the game. These tools add a fresh aspect that improves quality of life features. To start off in Conjuring, you're going to need your Conjuring Enchiridion, which is simply soul soil and a book. Perfect. When you open the Conjuring Enchiridion, it's going to have 3 chapters: Basics, Rituals, and Soul Alloy Tools. This book will help you as a guide to get you started with conjuring. However, we won't be following it much in this video, as I've structured it to help you along with the process. To start off, we're going to get our first block, the Soul Alloy Forge, crafted with blackstone, obsidian, soul soil, and polished blackstone bricks. We get our Soulfire Forge. The Soulfire Forge can be used to craft all of these tools, as well as the Soul Alloy and Soul Slice, 2 of your primary crafting ingredients. To see how those are crafted, we can see here. Put soul soil, gold, iron nuggets, and netherite scrap to get soul alloy, another star, iron, ingots, and conjuration essence to get soul slice. To show you how this works, let's craft some. Nothing's happening, and that's because we need to light the forge. You can use a flint and steel and just right-click the block, or a dispenser. As you can see, progress is starting, however it's extremely slow. You may want to craft multiple of these. Additional recipes include the Conjuration Scepter and its superior version, and the Conjuring Focus and its superior version. Both of these are crafted similarly, just place the items inside the Soulfire Forge and light it. The Conjuring Scepter is sort of your wrench, and the Conjuring Focus is what will allow you to customize spawners with whatever mob you want. We'll go into that more in the future. Our forge is done and we can see it's crafted up some soul alloy. Fantastic. Additional recipes include the Conjurer, the Soul Rod, and the Gem Socket. The Conjurer itself is the item you're looking for spawning mobs, and we'll go into how it works later. The Soul Rod is used for crafting, and the Gem Socket is used to customize the Conjurer. More on this later as well. Lastly, we can turn Conjuration Essence into its lesser version, simply by shift right clicking on a block with it. You can see we got 4 per large essence. And so this covers what the Soul Alloy Forge does. But what are we sort of looking to do? Well, we can come over to the Gem Tinkerer and get a better idea. It's crafted using gilded blackstone and blackstone, and it can be used to make aspect gems of scope, abundance, haste, and ignorance, as well as customize the tools. We'll go over how to craft these tools in a minute. In order to craft those aspect gems, here are the recipes. The haste one is 4 emeralds and a lesser. The ignorance is 4 lapis and a lesser. The abundance is 4 redstone and a lesser. The scope is 4 eyes of ender and a lesser. To show you how this works, let's craft our aspect gem of haste. Now this block can be tricky initially to work with. However, what I found is that simply looking at the side of the block that you want to place it on, for example, we want to place all of these emeralds around these pedestals, look at the side of the middle pillar and right click there. We'll do this around, and you can see our tiny little emeralds floating. Lastly, we'll put our Conjuring Essence in the middle, and then we will shift, right click, and watch as it does its wonderful magic. Right click the top, and we have our aspect gem. We'll go over more of what to do with these later. However, the last crafting recipe with them is to use them with a gem socket to get charms. Okay, it's time to move on. Now we're going to cover rituals. Essentially what this is you're looking to entrap a mob inside of one of those conjuring focuses. And so in order to do that, we need to sacrifice them. So the blocks you're seeing up there is the black stone pedestal, the soul funnel, and then later we'll talk about the soul weaver. The pedestal is what you'll place your items on, polished blackstone stairs, gilded blackstone, and blackstone bricks. And then the soul funnel can be crafted using blackstone or polished blackstone in a stone cutter, and then you'll just select the item. Lastly, we'll need either of our scepters, both work perfectly fine, so I'll take the simple one for now. And essentially, you're going to place the mob on top of the soul funnel. You'll place soul sand inside, as well as your conjuring focus, and then you will right click the soul funnel with the conjuring scepter when the mob that you want is on top of it. That's a little complicated, and this operation does not have a 100% chance of success. And as a matter of fact, it's pretty unlikely that you'll get it with just this. And so what we need to improve our chances is the soul funnel, or the pedestals. This is the orientation that they need to be in. There's no customization here, 2 blocks away from the funnel. And in order to link them to the soul funnel, we shift right click the pedestal first, and then the soul funnel. Pedestal, funnel, pedestal, funnel, pedestal, funnel. And now you see we've linked all 4, and you can definitely see that there's particles jumping back and forth. In order to use these pedestals, we essentially need to take whatever the mob drops most and place them on the pedestals, and that will improve our odds. You can't simply place any random item, that won't work. And so for our example, we're going to be summoning wither skeletons. And if I look at what the wither skeleton drops, it's coal, bones, and a wither skeleton skull. And so I've got those handily here, our focus, and our soul sand. We'll simply right click our items in any order onto our pedestals. We will grab our soul sand and our conjuring focus. Right click the soul sand in. Right click the focus in, and then we need our willing participant. Perfect. Right click the soul funnel. And that sound was a sound of success. As you can see, our conjuring focus now has wither skeleton under its name. This is fantastic. Now this also doesn't have a 100% success rate. It is very extremely likely that it will succeed. However, if you do want a 100% chance of success, for example if you're trapping a rather difficult or rare mob, you'll have to go into a soul sand valley biome and do this. Let's see what we can do with this now. We're going to head on over to my little trap. I'm using another mod that's unrelated down there to kill these wither skeletons. However, I have conjurers here, both with redstone signals turned on to disable them, and inside each of them, I have my conjuring focus, except this very last one. Let's put it in and turn it on. There we go. Now that's rather unimpressive. It definitely is working, but as you can see, these are pretty slow. So we can change that using our charms, if you remember them earlier. They stack up to 8, and each conjurer can hold 1 of each charm and 8 of each in total. So for example, I can have 1 scope charm, but I can have 8 of them, 1 ignorance charm and have 8 of them, 1 haste and have 8 of them, and 1 abundance. I can't, for example, have 2 sets of haste charms, only 1 of each. However, you can stack multiple. And so I will quickly go through and upgrade our spawners. This is definitely a best case scenario. This is very expensive in a very late game setup. And now we will stand back and see just what happens. As you can see, the difference is extremely significant. Awesome. Now if I clear out a bit of this setup, I don't need to sacrifice any more unwilling souls. We can instead replace our soul funnel with a soul weaver. This is for crafting tools. The recipes for the tools are for the sword, the pickaxe, the shovel, and the axe, all the same. You need the netherite equivalent, 3 soul alloy, and 1 soul slice. And so for this example, we'll craft our sword. Let's make sure that we are linked. This is crucial for the soul weaver, it cannot function without it. 1 soul slice, 3 soul alloy, our sword in the middle, and then we also need conjuration essence. We fill that up, and then we right click with our soul wand. Fantastic. And now we have our soul alloy sword. This process is the same for all. Hello. Back down here, let's quickly see how our spawner is doing. Oh my, it is very loud. I can see it's doing very well. I'll leave it to continue. And so now for the last part of the demonstration, we'll go through what the tools do. So now that we're back here on our platform, let's ditch these old iron tools and see just what our new tools can do. However, first, we should probably learn how to customize them. And so for this example, I'm going to take our soul alloy sword. Now the book can be a little confusing about this, but I'll go over it. Essentially, you can customize the sword, or any tool for that matter, in the mod, with aspect gems. However, you can only have a maximum of 5 total applied, that's 5 across all different enchants, ignorance, scope, abundance, and haste. And in any one category, you can only have a maximum of 3, meaning that my scope here is maxed out. I couldn't put another scope aspect gem on this sword. So I can have 5 in total, 3 in any one category, meaning there has to be at least 2 categories. So in practice, let's try this out. I placed my soul alloy sword, and let's say I wanted to try 4 abundance gems. Abundance in this case would mean looting. If I shift right click, nothing happens. However, if I take one off and replace it with a scope gem, and I shift right click, you can see our sword does its wonderful little animation, and we will have 3 abundance and 1 scope. And so now I can apply 1 more scope aspect gem to it, simply 1 by itself and shift right clicking. And now we are at a maximum of 5 total aspect gems applied. However, these tools have a wonderful special property to them. And so we will go over each one of them. In the book, there's a special keybind. Let's see if we can find it. Conjuring. Toggle tool mode, left alt. And so when you press shift and left alt, you can see it's got its own little icon now, and that means it's activated. And so when we right click, each of these tools will do a separate special ability. The sword in this case, if we right click, will shoot particles. And these particles do a lot of damage, as you can see, and then we can shift and left alt to disable it. So the sword shoots particles. What does the pickaxe do? Well, the pickaxe does a wonderful thing similar to vein mining. As you can see, I've got this cube here and it's got ores wrapped around it. And so I shift left alt and I right click the coal. You can see it's sort of wormed its way around and mined the coal, while also applying my abundance aspect gem to it. Now if I right click the iron, it goes around in a vein mining fashion. And then lastly, if I right click the diamond, boom. The pickaxe has a wonderful ability. I really like that one. Now the hatchet. The hatchet is extremely interesting. The hatchet will work similar to tree feller, meaning it will cut down the whole tree. However, in order to upgrade it, you need to add scope to it. And so here on the left, I will demonstrate a soul alloy hatchet by itself, and then the right one, I will demonstrate it with full scope. And so if we shift left alt, right click our tree, you can see it's done hardly any work. You know, we still have a lot of the tree left to go. You can absolutely keep right clicking, and you will eventually shoot enough particles up into the air to fully cut down the tree. However, with our scope maxed out, if we left shift and alt, you can see that we will vein mine the entire tree. And so it might be easy to think that our soul alloy shovel will do something similar. However, that is not the case. The soul alloy shovel is doing something really interesting actually. I don't know how much use it will have, but essentially it's like a boomerang that will bring you back the items that you throw at it. And so over there, I've got a bunch of diamond blocks that I would definitely want. I'll activate my ability and just right-click in that general direction. You'll see they're all gathered up and then brought back to me, and it brought back over a stack. And so that's been it. That has been the extremely cool, well thought out, and well-developed mod of Conjuring. I'm extremely excited to see where this mod continues to develop next. Definitely want to see what their armor system will look like if they develop one in the future. Thanks all for watching, and have a wonderful day.